We have already touched on a number of quarterback prospects for the 2024 NFL Draft. Coming into the year, a lot of these guys had a lot of question marks on these players, and a number of them stepped up in major ways for their programs, and a number of them have not. One of the guys who has helped his draft stock tremendously and cemented himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the class is Michigan quarterback JJ McCarthy. Head coach of Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, has called him the greatest quarterback in Michigan history. Is this true? That's what we're going to be discussing in this video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment, like the video, and without further ado, let's get into it. McCarthy had an up and down season in 2022. He had 2,719 yards with 22 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He also had a 64.6% completion. He had some high highs on the season, but the college football playoff game against TCU really showcased some areas he needed to improve on, including reading defenses and seeing coverages. So far in 2023, McCarthy has been nothing short of incredible for the Wolverines, and he is one of the Heisman frontrunners so far this season. So far, he has 2,134 yards, 18 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. However, all 3 of these interceptions came against Bowling Green in the same game. He hasn't thrown a pick in any other game except this one, and he's looked remarkable all season long. The first thing that sticks out with McCarthy is his ability to put the football on a string. He has unbelievable ball placement and does an absolutely fantastic job at putting the ball into windows that only his receivers are going to be able to go and get. This is one of his best traits by far. His ball placement is up there as some of the best in this entire class, and that's something I really like from him. It was something that really popped off the screen last year, and I think it's only gotten better as he's just hitting guys in the narrowest of windows and making really good plays with his arm. McCarthy has great arm strength. He has the ability to sling the ball at all 3 levels. He has a good deep ball, and with his ball placement, this is going to be a great trait for him at the NFL level. One of my biggest issues coming into the season with JJ was his deep ball accuracy. While it can be spotty still from time to time, his accuracy has improved tremendously so far in the 2023 season. As previously mentioned, he had a 64.6 completion in 2022, which is not bad at all. However, in 2023, his accuracy is 75.7% this year, and he has a 92.9 QBR, which is good enough for second in the FBS. His accuracy went from a weakness to me to one of his best strengths. He is 3rd in the nation in completion percentage, and his growth has been absolutely stellar this year, and he looks to be turning a corner as he is hitting guys in stride, and he's not forcing the ball like he did last year. Lastly, McCarthy is a very solid athlete. He has really solid speed and has the ability to extend plays with his legs. He runs a 4.4 40, which is pretty solid for a quarterback if I do say so myself. In his tenure with Michigan, McCarthy has 567 yards rushing with 10 rushing touchdowns throughout his career. His athletic ability is very solid and is going to make him a very nice dual threat quarterback at the NFL level. On to some weaknesses. McCarthy is a bit smaller in terms of his size. He's 6'3", 202 pounds, and he's pretty slim in terms of his frame. I'm going to be curious to see how he takes big hits in the NFL. Obviously, the Big Ten is known for being a very physical conference, and it hasn't been an issue for him thus far, but the NFL is a completely different game. I want to be curious to see how he does with the physicality in the NFL, and if he does add on some weight, and if he does, how does it affect his play speed and his athleticism? There's a lot of questions there for me, but at 202 pounds, I feel like he's a little bit small to my liking. Another area I want to see improve with McCarthy is he has the tendency to stare down his receivers. It often looks predetermined where he wants to go with the football, and this is an issue that has to improve. The staring is something that causes turnovers, and he tries to force the ball into tight windows, and he's got to do a better job at reading the field and taking what the defense gives him. And lastly, McCarthy loves to play hero ball. He doesn't seem to ever want to throw the football away. He tries to extend plays as long as possible, and this is an area that is not going to work in the NFL. He has to improve this because this isn't going to work at the NFL level whatsoever. McCarthy is one of my biggest risers in this draft class. I have been very impressed with his growth this year, and he came into the year as my QB 10. I had a lot of question marks, and he has answered quite a few of those. He has jumped all the way up to my quarterback 5 and my number 26 player in the 2024 NFL Draft. McCarthy is pretty scheme versatile, I think. He can play in a spread offense due to his big arm. He can play in an RPO offense with his versatility as a runner. I think you could put him in any offense in the NFL, and he's going to be able to thrive. He's a very solid athlete, and I think his ability to make plays with both his arms and his legs make him a threat in any offensive scheme. One comparison that I have heard for JJ McCarthy is Carson Wentz, a smaller version of Carson Wentz. People forget how good Carson Wentz was in his near MVP season with the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't hate this one, but he also reminds me a bit of a more mobile version of Kirk Cousins. They both have really good accuracy with the football, great arm talent, and I think McCarthy could have great impact like Cousins has had in the NFL. Obviously, McCarthy is more mobile than Kirk Cousins, and they also have had the tendency to not show up in big games. I kid, but I do think Kirk Cousins, a smaller, more mobile version of Kirk Cousins, is a good comparison for JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy went from a third-round pick in my eyes to a first-round lock. He's one of the most versatile and complete quarterback prospects in this class, and I can see him going as high as the top 10. He's also one of the younger quarterbacks in this class, which I think is going to intrigue a lot of teams. But in the end, I think JJ McCarthy will be a top 20 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.